everybody, it's Kat.
One of these days, I'm going to paint my face like a clown or do some sort of like Zoom cover or something. That way I'm just like it. Hi, everybody.
Well, don't just make sure you don't look like a scary clown, like the It clown or what's the
You
It
know,
clown's name?
it. I think it's named Pennywise.
Oh, Pennywise, yeah.
Pennywise.
You don't want to look like Pennywise, and you don't want to look like the Joker either.
But I
Be
mean,
kind of clown looking.
even like the happy clowns are scary to people who are afraid of clowns.
Oh,
What
for
if there was?
sure.
See, that's more of a Days of Our Lives idea. Never mind. Let me not even get into it. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the 10th floor. We're going to talk about this week of General Hospital, also known as Drama Central.
Yeah.
There is just drama, drama, drama everywhere you look. I don't think anybody's really having any fun except for maybe Danny.
Yeah. And Danny, yeah. He's very proud of his dad right now.
But get on out of that waiting room, folks. Take that imaginary food with you. We've got Carolyn here, Kelly, Rochelle, Sandra, Chandra, Kelly, Kai Wan, and the rest. Hi. Hey, everybody. Welcome.
Hey, you guys.
Get out of that waiting room. Climb on into the elevator, folks. We're going to go all the way up to the 10th floor. And when we do, we're going to listen to a little music. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do.
Key change.
Jeannie says hello for the third time. Hello to you, too. And everybody, thank you for joining us all morning long.
Right.
We've been in Days of Our Lives Central. We did a little Days for Dummies. We had almost an hour with Sherry Jimenez, who plays Gabby on Days of Our Lives. So check those shows out if you didn't see those yet. It was a lot of fun this morning.
It was.
So go and click those, share those around, give them a like, leave a comment, all of that. You know what you're supposed to do. What's up, Jacarius? Jacarius is here too. Folks, as you climb out of the elevator, you look around the hospital. You look to the left and you can see Elizabeth talking to Rick Lansing. What are they up to?
Man, don't you know how to run?
And then over on the right, we have Portia poring over some data reports. Maybe she might have had something to do with.
I think that Portia done messing with some lab results.
I saw an interesting theory out there saying that maybe it was Brad, but I don't remember Brad getting his lab job back. Isn't he still dealing cards for Selena last time we saw him?
Well, remember he went and talked to Jordan about a job back?
No.
There was a scene where he went to Jordan and he asked for his job. He asked for a job in the hospital.
Uh-huh.
And it wasn't clear that she did or did not give him one. So Brad may be not on camera, but perhaps Brad has been working at the hospital for about a month.
And we just haven't seen it.
Maybe.
Maybe that was them planting a little seed.
Right. And I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Brad on set. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't have a Brad scene.
Well, this is a lab thing, right? So,
right. Because I could see him going, if they find out there's something nefarious going on in the lab,
yeah.
I could see Brad sending up his hand right away saying, hey, it ain't me this time. Do not blame me for lab shenanigans. I am not involved.
I hear you. Yeah. It's not me this time, folks. Not me.
It's
not Jordan,
me
but Terry,
time.
says Chandra. Yeah, I think she meant Terry, not Jordan. You know, there's a lot of names in this show. And Terry and Jordan, those are both also, unisex names. So
yes,
it's
I
easy
did
to
mistake.
flip them,
Yes,
right?
he went to Terry and asked for his job. I don't know why I said Jordan. Yes, he went to Terry and asked for his job back. He did.
Chandra says also, Ma, that I'm only getting her a real Dr. Pepper. She's got a full case for you.
Oh.
So, I guess, throw a little $5 tip into the YouTube tip jar or the buy me a coffee, I guess, and we can turn that into a real Dr. Pepper from my mother.
And trying to drink a few less carbonated beverages.
Today
I got the tea.
The Lipton mixed berry tea. For me,
yes.
Before noon, stay away from soda at least before noon, I would say.
I'm a little addicted to carbonated soda.
You have been my whole life, though. It's nothing new to see you with a Diet Coke in your hand. You're gonna crack open one of those with your buddies. Let's go have a Diet Coke. Drinking it like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I've seen it.
Yep.
I've seen it.
Yep, you have. You have.
Sandra later today is going to be Zooming with Dr. Obrecht. Yeah, today I think she's doing one of her cook-alongs.
Oh, I like that.
A Kathleen Gaddy cooking show that she does. So check that out. We had her on the show before, and this is fun.
We have.
It's fun.
Kathleen Gotti was our very, very first guest we ever
She
had.
sure was. She sure was. Shortly after we had Nika, who was on this week, wasn't she? I thought I saw Nika this week.
Nika was on this week.
Yeah.
Yes, Nika was on this week.
I love it.
Because we went to the Savoy this week. We haven't been to the Savoy in a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we haven't been to the Savoy in a long. I love seeing the imprint of Chris Van Etten back on the show. I know, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because it's the General Hospital that I had been watching for the longest consistency. Because I remember the 90s. I remember Felicia and Bobby back then. I remember being interested in those characters in the 90s. I remember late teen Lucky.
Yes.
I remember Luke. I didn't see, like the purple suit dance along or anything like that with Luke and Lucky at the nurses' ball. But I saw some of the drama. I saw Luke and Laura back together in the late 90s. That's some stuff that I remember.
Mm-hmm.
A few years later, I remember Emily dating Juan. Because I remember Juan because I thought Juan was handsome. Back in a time in which I wanted to make sure that nobody thought I thought that dudes were handsome. So he was especially handsome.
Okay. So wasn't Juan the killer?
I don't think so. I think he was killed, wasn't he?
Who was the killer that killed Georgie?
No, that wasn't Juan. That was Diego or something.
Oh, that was Diego. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Rodell's first time in the live chat. Welcome, Rodell.
Yeah, welcome.
Officially to the 10th floor. First time in the elevator. First time for the conversation. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Sandra says, no, don't go.
The elevator's never too full.
Never. It's double wide, double deep. Sandra says, not Rodell, but Sandra says, don't go after Brad again. Make him the good guy. I think that Perry Shin would love that.
I think Perry Shin would love that too.
Yeah. Kelly confirms Diego. Yes, Diego killed Georgie. Now, Juan was a musician. He was a singer. He had a little band thing going on. I don't know if he was involved in that, but I just remember him. I remember Juan.
No, I don't remember him. I don't remember him.
I think he's Elizabeth's real life husband. I think he's married to.
Okay. I know who you're talking about now. Yes, I know who you're talking about now.
I'm pretty sure. I'm 99% sure.
Mm-hmm. I recently saw a photo of Rebecca with her 3 children, her 3 biological children, not her 3 screen children.
Uh-huh.
Her 3 biological children, and her oldest child looks just like her husband.
Well, maybe he'll come through as like the long lost son of Juan Salazar, Juan something.
The shape of his eyes, he looks so much like his dad.
Yeah. Well, how neat. So all of that to say, I have little bits, dribs, and drabs of memories of General Hospital up to this point. So I think that my appreciation for seeing some of the familiar Chris Van Etten things like Nika and the Savoy, and honestly, the Robinson family.
Yes.
Some of these quieter characters that were sort of on the periphery that we really didn't see a lot of over the last couple of months are coming back into the fold. The show is way less, I don't want to use the word dominated, but, another appropriate word that's less triggering or divisive. But there's way less of the day-to-day beat of what Carly is up to. She's still there. She's still prominent. She's still playing parts of the story, but I do not see her on as much as I had prior.
Which is kind of surprising because Laura Wright's usually right there.
Right there in the middle. So I don't know if that's because of creative decisions. I don't know if that's because her story just isn't the forefront right now because it's about Kirstina and Molly and the baby and Alexis. Like that is the show right now.
Right now, yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what's up. I don't know that. Yes, he is married to Rebecca Herbst Elizabeth in real life, says Kelly.
Yep. And they've been married for a long time.
I'm so smart.
They've been married a long time too.
Oh yeah, they have been. They have been enough time to have a really a grown-up child.
Well, yeah. This kid I saw is a teenager.
Yeah, I would say Juan is like 2002, 2003. I think I was still in high school when I saw Juan. I'm pretty sure he was hanging out with Emily. I remember Michael as a baby. I watched Robin and Jason with Michael and a baby in the penthouse. I watched a
Oh, so
number of
you
weeks of
saw
that.
Jason read him the book about Africa?
I'm sure, but I don't recall the
Mm-hmm.
moment. But yeah, I remember that. I remember them pretending like it was Jason's baby. I
Mm-hmm.
remember Robin really being on his side, and then she was really carrying him through that. And I remember
Yes.
you explaining to me what the story was. I remember Billy Warlock, AJ.
Yeah, Billy Warlock AJ. He did a good job playing AJ.
Oh, anyway, maybe she's on vacation like Jeannie asks, says Chandra. Yeah, Jeannie. It's really interesting because they brought Lucky back, but Jeannie Francis started her summertime vacation at the same time, and so now
Yeah.
so I don't. I guess the excitement of, hey, we inked this deal. Let's get this guy on here. We can do a build up to his stories, which is what they've been doing. Leaving some people though saying, hey man, I wish he was doing a little bit more.
But if they don't have Laura find Lucky, that's going to be disappointing.
Yeah, like she needs to stroll into the casino next, right?
She needs to be there in some capacity. I want Laura to find Lucky. I mean, I wouldn't it be a kind of a shame to write her vacation as Laura leaving, and then she doesn't have anything to do with the story. That wouldn't make any sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
If they decide to not write her into the actual like escapades of it
Well, I
all.
mean, they're already in Europe looking around for him.
I mean,
All
yeah.
they
I
got to
mean,
do is
if
just
they
hop a boat to
don't
Africa.
do that,
just cross the Mediterranean. He's right there.
Yeah. I mean, if they're not going to have Laura find Lucky, they should have send her to Paris to go look for Spencer's body or something.
Oh, you can find Spencer on Netflix right now on
You
Monsters.
sure can.
Monsters actually, that's a show that we've been covering as well on the channel. If you haven't had a chance to see that, or you didn't notice, or don't care.
Yeah. It might not be everybody that's on the 10th floor. It might not be your cup of tea.
No.
If it is,
I mean, it's a fun podcast to do. I've been having a great time watching the show and reacting to it with my mother, of all people. I mean, a story about two brothers who did the worst thing they could to their parents, who in turn also, like before,
and had the
did
worst
the worst
things done
to them. So it's been an experience, I'll say, talking to my mom for this JLJ Media after show. But you can find the video version of it here, and you can find the audio version of it on JLJ Media after shows. Just do a little search or doodle on your favorite podcasting app, and you can come across that. It's a very different conversation than what we have about General Hospital. There's way less to laugh at, but a lot more to think about. So join us for that, folks. Join us for that.
And and there's actually 6 episodes of that in the can.
And we're finishing that off on Monday.
And we're finishing off on Monday.
Yeah. So check that out. Anyway, that's where Spencer is. That's where Spencer's body is. He got fished out of the river in Paris. The Louvre or whatever the river, I don't know what river is. He was reanimated and then forced to reenact some true life criminal history. So
and you guys, I mean, come on, the writing's on the wall. We might see Spencer Cassadine again,
but it ain't.
Ain't gonna be that guy.
No. Nicholas Chavez definitely moving on to different projects, projects that might bring him a little bit more money, a little bit more attention. But I would say that it's very unlikely at this point that he's going to look backward in time and miss Spencer.
I think if we see him as an actor again on General Hospital, it would be several years from now.
Juan was on GH a few times, singing in the nurse's ball, bringing his cousin Sabrina her mother's wedding dress. Then back to take Sabrina away to heal after her and Patrick's baby died.
Didn't they bring him back and he met Cameron and talked to him in the cemetery?
Isn't that Xander?
It's Xander played by Juan, wasn't it?
No.
No.
I don't think so.
They all look, I don't know.
I guess they just maybe got, I think they look pretty different. I didn't know Xander. I didn't see any Xander. So by the time I started watching GH again for this podcast, or with you, and then eventually for this podcast, Cameron was already William Lipton. So
Yeah.
I don't know anything. I don't know about Jocelyn and the corn and all that
Don't
kind of
listen
nonsense.
to me. Mama Cat don't know what she's talking about.
We don't come here for the news, folks. Don't come here for all of that. Melinda misses Michael being a redhead. Oh gosh.
I'm pretty used to Chad Duell now.
Very, very used to Chad Duell. Well, while we're on the topic of Michael, he cool. I like Michael a little bit more now than I had been over the last little while. Like the last time I remember like really appreciating Michael as a character was in the middle of the whole Nell thing. I remember him having this scene in the park where he's just yelling at her next to a tree, and then he like takes a branch and smashes it. Like I'm like, look at this, Michael. Oh yeah, look at this guy. And then like the confrontation in the car before he wrecks, and then she runs off to have the baby, and then all of that. I enjoyed Michael in all of that.
Well, I would love to see a confrontation of Michael and Drew, Uncle Drew.
Got to get there at some point. We got to get there at some point.
We got to get there at some point.
We lost a little bit of Michael when it comes to just. I mean, I don't know exactly what it is. I can't point to one thing. I don't work there, but it hadn't been clicking for me. I haven't been interested. He's not a waste of time. He shouldn't have died or gotten fired or anything like that. But I haven't been really engaged in what Michael has been up to.
Well, this week he and Ned really were yelling at each other this week.
Oh, they sure were. I just like a little spice in Michael, I guess. You know, I want to see a little more Carly in him, I guess. I don't know exactly what it is. You know, a little less AJ and a little more Carly.
A little more Spencer. You know, I love them Spencers.
You know, I mean, I don't know what it is exactly. But, you know, him vying to be CEO of this, that, or the other company, him going from ELQ to Aurora, his whole relationship with Willow. No offense to people who are big Milo fans, but I haven't been engaged with it. It hasn't been the most interesting thing for me.
Don't you think that Michael appeared to be a little jealous over the fact that Drew went to Curtis for the CEO job and didn't even consult him first?
Yeah, you know, I mean, we're giving Michael a little bit to do, you know, that isn't just like I'm reacting to stuff. You know, you know,
he's like back on the Sunny train. He's riding that Sunny train.
He's riding the Sunny train. It's okay. There's no reason to have Michael not on the Sunny train. All of that also is a big waste of time. Ultimately was and ultimately is. It's never going to lead anywhere. It's never going to be permanent. We don't even need to tell those stories. Just have him be on Sunny's side. Just have him be there. Just have him support his daddy.
But, you know, at the same time, though, Sonny's children seem to weave in and out of that. Even Kirstina has in the past, like back when it was played by Lexi, there was a period of time where she wasn't on the Sunny train either.
I mean, even just a couple of weeks ago.
Kind of get off, you know, they jump on, they jump up. All of them. Dante, Michael, Kirstina. You know, the only one that Morgan did too. Morgan jumped off and on the Sunny train too. And I'm sure when Donna gets a little bit older, she'll realize that her dad ain't so great too. As well.
Well, I mean, just a couple of weeks ago, Kirstina was like, "Ah, I'm sorry."
Yeah. Yeah. But when it comes to Sunny, Sunny's okay. I mean, Sunny is Sunny. We all know he's not supposed to be good.
No, and I think Sunny's never been better too. Like, I don't know about never been better, but he's been the best he's been in a long time.
No, but when it comes to but I much more dislike Sunny's brother currently. Yeah.
Well, first things first, thank you very much, Kelly, for your generous donation once again in the super chat. I've lost count now as to how many you've contributed to the channel, and I am just so flippin' grateful for your generosity.
It appears for some time now it's been weekly. Thank you, Kelly.
Yes, so thank you so much for that. On your point, Mother, I really enjoyed Rick and Sunny together. I've never seen Rick and Sunny. I've never seen Rick except for some clips on YouTube.
The fighting and the animosity between the two of them is exactly the same.
It is so good. It is so good. I don't know who wrote it. Cool. I mean, probably Cordy supervised that. But when it comes to it, the actors, Maurice Bernard and oh God,
Rick
Herbst. Is it Herbst? Hurst.
Yeah.
Hurst. Rick Hurst.
Hurst. There's one letter different between he and Rebecca.
Rick Hurst and Maurice Bernard. Holy
Yes,
smokes, they just pop off of the screen together.
they do.
The chemistry, and you can tell when Maurice Benard is sold on a scene and when he's not.
Yes, you
And he
can.
was so sold.
He was,
So
yes.
sold on that scene.
Yeah, he had both feet firmly planted in Sonny at that point.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. And then like the jealousy and then like bringing up the history of like, and you're just mad because mom kept me and left you. Well, you want to compare childhood? Like, oh my,
Oh,
just so
yes.
good. Good,
Yes.
just kudos, GH.
Yes. And what was so cool about it, I thought, that scene, it was like Rick had never left town. You know,
Yeah.
it was that fluid, it was that natural,
Yeah,
just like
they picked
he
it up
had
right
never
where they
left
left it
town.
off.
They've been fighting all this time, just off camera.
They've just been sending hate texts to each other. That's what Sonny does lying in bed at night. It's just, F you, Rick. You ruined Carly's life. It's like, no worse than you did, Sonny.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Rick and Carly always had great fights too, says Melissa. So hey, maybe we got a Rick and Carly fight coming up.
Well, you know, it was clearly described to us and shown to us that Rick is not a popular human being in Port Chuck.
No,
Folks in Port Chuck, they don't like him. But they all say what a great lawyer he is.
I can kind of also just, appreciate the fact that he's just like, everybody hates me, but I'm just going to be here anyway.
Exactly. I can't he's like, I can't do anything to have anybody dislike me more, but I might be able to get somebody to like me a little better.
Hey, when are we going to graduate from drinks to, like a meal? Never. We're never going to graduate to anything,
Never.
Rick. What do you think this was?
I don't believe that for an instant. If that was really the case, she wouldn't be having coffee with him.
So you think that she's gonna like go on a date and like Lucky's gonna fall through the front door? You think we're gonna get the Rick, Lucky, Elizabeth triangle?
I think yes, and it won't take long. I think that she will start to think he's charming again.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what she's always liked about him. He can be charming.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's gonna think he's charming again and maybe not despise him nearly as much. And maybe we could have a piece of pie and we'll start with dessert. I don't know. Maybe we'll have, something. And then right when she's like thinking, I have feelings for him again, perhaps I have some feelings, that's when Lucky Spencer will pop right back into Port Chuck.
I love you, Elizabeth. What? I've been thinking about you when I was getting tortured.
And we got to have an Elizabeth Lucky scene before we have Lucky and Elizabeth.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we already had Elizabeth and Lucky scene this week.
Exactly. That's what Elizabeth. I'm saying. We got a Lucky and Elizabeth scene before he actually comes back home because we got a dream sequence.
We did. He was getting all roughed up. What a bad experience in this prison cell. The only thing that's going to carry me through is the hallucinations of my nurse ex-wife.
Exactly. Yeah, I think Lucky is going to come back to town and forego that adventurous life for a minute.
This experience is reminding him.
Yes.
What's really important. He must not have had such a bad go. This must have been like one of the most recent tough times, maybe one of the worst he's been in a while when it comes to challenges to overcome. And it's making him think about the things that he may be losing or the things that he had walked away from.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's going to come back and be like, I need to pick up where I left off, Elizabeth. I need to be a father to my son. I need to be a husband to you. I need to be a good son to my mom, Laura. You know Laura. She's a legend around here.
And in my spare time, I will save my sister.
And in my spare time, clip a little part of my liver out and give it to my sister. Is this Lulu's first transplant? Does she have anybody else's body parts right now? Do we know?
Well, she had to have bone marrow from her other brother, remember?
Oh.
But she was a little.
That's why Nicholas showed up.
That's how Nicholas came to town.
Because Laura's like, well, I've got one secret kid out there, so I'm going to go ask him.
Yeah. Yeah.
His son is taller than him. Probably. Jonathan Jackson's not the tallest guy in the world.
No, I think he's a...
Maybe that's why they got rid of Jake, because they're like, we can't have Jake be tall around Lucky.
But Aiden is not a short kid either.
I don't know. We changed Aiden's again. I don't remember. Not again, but we changed Aiden's from the one before.
We changed Rocco's this week for sure.
Yeah, we got a different Rocco too. And just like
just
pick a kid. General Hospital, come on. Pick a kid.
Well, they put them, they have their scenes are so far apart, which I think that's going to change shortly. Their scenes are so far apart that the same kid's not available anymore. Or the same kid don't look the same anymore.
Who cares? Whatever,
Who cares?
Man. Just pick a kid, Just pick the right kid to start off with. I'd rather see Liz single for a bit, says Chandra. But she can spar and eat fries with Rick to her heart's content. They're great scene partners.
Yeah, because Jocelyn can't measure amount of fries to save her life. Speaking of the restaurant, you guys, how many of you, I know a ton of you noticed this because I sure did. I know a ton of you noticed this. So when Jordan left Bobby's, that bag said Kelly's on it. And when she arrived at the hospital and gave it to Isaiah, it said Bobby's on the bag. There's no way you guys missed that because it was so noticeable. Wasn't it, Matt?
I mean, yeah. I mean, when it comes to like editing errors and continuity problems and stuff, that was pretty glaring. But as we just talked, we just talked to Sherry Jimenez just not too long ago on this channel, and she let us know that every soap is the same when it comes to one and done, moving on, let's go.
Yes.
Even days of our lives.
I almost thought, and I think I still believe this to a certain degree. I think they did it on purpose.
Oh, just a little Kelly's Bobby's Easter egg.
Yes. Yes.
I'm honestly,
because they could have easily turned the bag in either scene to just show the side and not have the word.
Here's what I think.
Visible.
Here's what I think. I think that they were moving at a mile a minute. They changed the whole Bobby's thing, but just a sign kind of on the outside, of that set. There really wasn't any redress, big change, new logos being hung anywhere. And I think that they just overlooked making a new carryout bag with the right name. They get to shooting. They order the prop. They bring the prop out and they go, oh, look at what we just filmed. Look at what we just recorded. Look at what we see in the playback, folks. It's a Kelly's bag. Please go make a Bobby's bag for the follow-up scene.
They could have even explained it away with being responsible with recycling and using up their.
I mean.
And using up their bags, we're going to throw them away, throw away paper products. That's not.
No, we're going to use all these Kelly's bags until they're used up. I mean, sure. That's one thing. I don't know. I don't know how much of a lantern they needed to hang on it. For things that we're going to notice, but not necessarily every single person watching. Kelly noticed, though. She said that was weird.
I noticed it immediately. Both scenes I noticed it immediately.
Oh, my gosh. A little chatter in here about Lindsay Hartley replacing Kelly Monaco this week. So as we learned from other news outlets during the week, the reason why Kelly Monaco was out this week is because these scenes were filmed at the same time that Lindsay Hartley had originally replaced her.
Right.
So this isn't a second run.
Over a week ago.
Yeah, so this isn't a second run. This is just the continuation of the same 80 pages that they had filmed on that day or those days in which Lindsay Hartley needed to replace Kelly Monaco.
Because they very often do film out of sequence, as we've been told. They very often film out of sequence, and a lot of times they do that for time, efficiency, because not all the same sets are up all the time, you guys.
Yeah.
So, they do film out of sequence. I mean, not months and months out of sequence. Of course, it's not written enough. It's not written, that far in advance to know what the scripts are and stuff. And this is just glaringly noticeable because of the difference in the actresses. But, normally we don't even notice that they're could possibly be filmed on different.
Yeah, exactly. Like the only reason why we know is because of the actress swap. But there's a little talk in there, of course, Kelly Monaco, as we know, is on the way out because there are no secrets left in Soapland.
It's refreshing when there is a secret, though.
Yeah, like Martin Gray's back.
Once in a while, it does happen where we didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah, like
there has been things kept under wraps before, but yeah, very often though it does leak.
We saw Michael E. Knight this week. I didn't know that was coming. That was fun. Cyrus as well. So hey,
yeah,
shoot some hoops there. General Hospital, score some goals when it comes to the characters I want to see.
We talked to Jeff Kober this week, and of course he didn't spoil any story. Of course they wouldn't do that, but he did let us know that these couple of scenes we had of this Cyrus is not the end for a few weeks. Cyrus is coming back.
Yeah, apparently.
Do something.
Yeah, we don't know what it is, but we can expect some siblings shenanery.
Yeah.
Between him, I guess, Laura and Martin. As he had lots of positive things to say about working with both of those daytime legends.
Yes.
So check out that video if you haven't. When we're done here, and go click on that and enjoy that. It's also going to be available, not yet, but it will be available on our audio stream, which you can find on all your favorite podcasting platforms. Jeff Kober's a class act. You're right. So we're talking about how Lindsay Hartley and Brooke Kerr are really good friends and have been for a long time because they were in Passions together.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And the possibility of maybe Lindsay Hartley just replacing Sam. Why kill Sam? Just replace her with Lindsay Hartley. Comes up in the chat as well. And I, folks, have a response to that. Are you ready?
Sure.
It is so much easier to just kill Sam and be done with it. Whatever the reasons were that they decided to part ways with Kelly Monaco at this time, I doubt that they were because they hate her. Because if they hated her, they could have fired her 5 years ago.
Sure.
They could have let her go with Billy Miller if it was that much of a problem.
Yeah.
So I don't see that being the reason. There's something that we don't know, which is the reason why they decided to make this decision. I don't know what that information is. I'm not teasing. Ooh, I know and you don't. There's just something that we don't know. There's something we don't know. There's something that everybody doesn't know.
Yeah.
Something that's between them and Frank Valentini, I guess. All of that to say.
I do think this was it. I think that they, either way, if they had kept her on or not, they were going to split up Sam and Dante.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, they're clear plans. Their plans are clear going forward when it comes to the resurrection of the Spencer side of things. Exactly. But all of that to say, when it comes to the Kelly Monaco situation, it's way better to end the character for a couple of reasons. 3 of them specifically. 1, it's never permanent. You can always bring your character back.
Yeah.
So it really is just like a thing. Number 2, it leads into storyline developments and dramas and things from the departure of this character that you couldn't do if the character was still sticking around.
All kinds of things are going to jump
It opens
off.
up just all kinds of different chapters of potential stories from many, many, many characters across the canvas. Thirdly, if you replace somebody who has already gotten a lot of attention because of their departure with someone else, that is going to stay in people's mouths for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks about how unfair it is and how this, that, and the other stuff. And just from the just dealing with people standpoint, it's a little easier to just be like, done. Now all you have to do is complain about the fact that we did this.
But I agree with you, Matt. But if they were going to recast Sam and not have her go off, it would have made sense to use Lindsay.
Oh, definitely. I don't think anybody would have really argued hard.
It would be way more acceptable. But you're right, though. It would be really, really, really hard, especially if they would have recast Sam with someone that we haven't or not familiar with at all. That would be really hard on that actor. Really, really hard to know that the departure wasn't great, and you're and the fans are affected too. Yeah, it would be really hard to really get some legs, get some stability as the character.
Yeah.
If they were going to do that at all, it would have worked best for Lindsay because we do have a little taste of her.
Yeah, and it would still be very challenging for her as well because there would be a lot of people out there dominating the reaction sphere. That have a lot of negative things to say. And so just sometimes it's easier to just be done with something and figure it out later.
For me, the character of Sam, the place I'll miss her the most is the Davis girls. That's where I'll miss her the most.
Because well, they're raging without her.
Yeah, there's not going to be, the Davis girls scenes. There's not going to be three daughters anymore.
Mm-mm. No, no,
And
no.
right now, and Sam's been such a peacemaker too.
Well, I mean,
She's been the voice of reason.
And that's the potential for story that we're talking about. Without this person who is calling for reason, where else is this going to go? How much further is this going to spiral out of control? So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But I just think that it's easier to get that done. What else? It's always about money, says Carolyn. I don't know. Because, from one side of the story, it's like, oh yeah, I took the pay cut. It was totally fine. What I didn't want was a reduction of days. But then that could also go down to money. Like, we're going to pay you this amount for that many days. Like, that's too many days for this amount of money. So we got to scale that back as well. So maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
Well, we don't know, but I can almost guarantee you that the kitty for salary for actors has not changed.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't continue to bring on new characters. You can't bring on Jonathan Jackson back into the fold and not have to cut somewhere.
Yeah, you gotta make a decision somewhere. Whether it's we never see a non-contracted player again, like, all right, well, that's it for Amy. We're just never gonna be able to see Amy while we got lucky, right. Or something more impactful, like trying to clear out a little bit of that budget, perhaps on the cast side of things. But then also, I've heard from people who are a little more connected that that's really not what it came down to. It wasn't a budgetary decision. So I don't. There's too much conflicting information for somebody who's sitting on this side of the screen. When it comes to the people that I have minor conversations with, I'm nobody important. But from the little dribs, drabs, and this, that, and the other thing of what I consider to be the closest thing that I hear to reality, that didn't seem to be a consideration. So I just don't know. And I'm never going to know.
And truth be told, we're not supposed to know.
Yeah, for sure. In this tease that Kelly Monaco did about telling our story on the anniversary of Billy Miller's passing is gonna be about their love story, about how they loved each other, not about how General Hospital effed them both over. That's just too dramatic for the real world. Think of another actor that's done that. You can't. At least I can't. You might be able to. I'm sure it's happened. But the whole point is it doesn't happen a lot. So, anyway. In any case.
So, I think I'm moving on now. I'm moving on to Portia. I was moving on to Portia.
Let's do it.
I think Portia messed with Heather's DNA, with her test results.
So we got Heather with a cobalt test, and the test from General Hospital says barely any change. This woman is still nuts.
Right.
The backup test that I guess they got at Mercy or something.
Yes.
Mercy that doesn't F up, who always has the correct answer, where you can actually go and get cured. Mercy, I guess, comes up with an alternative test result saying major change. This woman's not nuts.
Right. And even Elizabeth said that the test results don't make sense.
Yes.
No? Right. They just don't make any sense. They're just.
Here's the thing. So Rick comes to Elizabeth, right? He's like, I've got these test results and I need your expert opinion. Basically. And she goes, sure, I'll give it to you so long as I don't know who the patient is.
Right.
Great, no problem. Here are these cobalt test results. Come on. I think we can figure out who this patient is.
But at the same time, though, Elizabeth should know Rick, even when he's telling the truth, it ain't all that, informative.
I don't think he was trying to lie. He was just trying to get information about this test result.
He just wanted her to put her eyes on it and give him an answer. And even if it was obvious who he was talking about, he won't tell you. It don't matter.
It could be anybody's cobalt test results. This could be Henry Ford's cobalt test results for all I know.
My gosh, that's so funny. That's so funny.
Oh gosh. So I mean, it does seem like Portia did something to do it. Which did something with it. She probably did. It's the more interesting choice than blaming it on, than having Brad have done it. We can blame Brad. We can do Portia do that because Portia.
That's what he's afraid of. He's going to be blamed.
Miss Portia, hasn't always made the right choice.
Right. You know what she's going to wind up doing?
Mm-hmm.
Portia's going to lose her half of that job, and Terry's going to be the only one.
Hey, people will be happy with just a solo chief of staff.
Solo chief of staff. I think Portia might get in trouble for this on the long run. And then Curtis is going to be mad at her too.
Oh, yeah.
Curtis will be mad at her too. And I love the fact that we went back to the Savoy this week.
The Savoy's fun. The Savoy's so fun. All we just need more Hat Daddy. Just Hat Daddy behind the bar, hanging out with Nika.
Yeah.
That's what I need. Just out there, just being like, all right, guys, I'm going to jazz it on up for you. As he goes out and takes the stage with his saxophone.
Nika this week. We got to see Nika, and she had words.
Yes. Yeah, we saw Nika. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. We'll see what other trouble Nika gets into, and we'll invite Arlandria to come back.
I've always said they need to give Nika some,
if you could have girlfriend, then why can't Nika have boyfriend?
Right.
Portia has words with Terry in the previews for Monday. What kind of words? Like, you're rah, rah, rah? Or like, what are we going to do? Or, I didn't know. Or, oh, or, like, what is it, Kelly?
I think we'll see. We'll see.
Chandra also missed the Savoy.
Yeah.
We've been to the Savoy,
We have been to the Savoy.
We hung out there, sat at a table, had a drink.
Yep.
It's great. Pictures on Twitter, folks. Follow us on Twitter. No convention, no future set tour for now. We got to figure out what we got to do is we got to call Prospect and be like, hey, so since Creation stepped out, what we got to do is charge people $250 to come hang out at the studio. We'll do a little convention in the parking lot. A little what to do. James Patrick Stewart can walk through because he likes that stuff.
Yes.
He can just, hey guys, and just walk on through.
Just keep on walking.
We'll give everybody bottles of water and ham sandwiches. They can do a set tour. MK Weir can feel all of that attention and love.
Mm-hmm.
Actors make a couple of bucks. Studio makes a couple of bucks. And we walk away with $15. How about that, Ma?
Ah, there you go. I hope somebody, maybe not Creation, who cares? But man, I would like them to bring that, GH weekend back there and the set tour and all that.
Yeah,
this year it didn't happen, but hopefully next year it does.
I don't know if the GH fan club, how they have their weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they can tie into it somehow. I don't know. If you organize that or know the people who do, send them here to the 10th floor. Let's talk about it. We'd love to host a little something for them. That'd be a lot of fun. And we're local.
We are.
Anyway, Portia's...
Well, he is. I can be. I can be local in 6 hours.
Portia's becoming Heather, says Melissa. She's committing crimes to protect her daughter from imaginary threats. Maybe that's the story.
Well, you know what? Wouldn't that be cool for Brooke? Right, Portia crazy. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't that be fun for Brooke?
Yeah, wouldn't it? Like, it's something to do, because Portia really hasn't been up to much ever. Like, honestly, she's been doing stuff here and there, a little Oz Haggerty, a little Curtis. But when it comes to any sort of, like, really major continuous thread for Portia, that really hasn't existed.
No.
So I'd be curious. I'd be curious to see.
The last big thing that Portia did, I guess, was pretty much their wedding, right?
I mean, there's her wedding, and then, things have been kind of going on with this whole Heather. She hasn't gone on any adventures.
She helped Curtis get his legs back, but it's still, it was.
But, it's nothing that's been particularly heavy or impactful or overall. I mean, I don't want to say important because everything's important, but, just not as high impact as the other stories that have been told. So, same thing with Trina. Trina's suffering from the same thing. So hopefully things are going to wake up with her now that Stella's like, you go back to college. I think it's time for you to be a person again and not just hang out at the gallery.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and the family really listens to Stella.
And she's right.
Stella, and they have stopped writing Stella so, abrasive.
Right.
She's different.
Yeah.
She's softened. She's much more motherly than she was accusionary before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I understand that totally. 100%. I agree with you. I like where Stella's at. And I think that she's an asset to the family currently. And you can rely on her wisdom and her experience to get you through.
I haven't told Aunt Stella, oh, shut up, Aunt Stella. I haven't told her
You
that in
haven't
like
said that in a long
6 months.
time.
I used to view her with, oh, shut up and mind your business, Aunt Stella. I used to do that all the time. I stopped doing that.
Yeah. Rochelle loved that scene with Stella and Trina. It was great.
Hey, it was good.
I think it was a good too. I think Stella, they've been doing great with Stella. They've been really knocking out of the park with her contributions recently.
Yes, they have.
And like I was trying to say earlier, before we always get sidetracked, me going over my history of GH was to continue to point out that the last stretch of time is the most that I'm familiar with. And so seeing familiar things like the Savoy and Nika and Terry and Brad and all of these sets and characters from the stories from the Chris Van Etten and Dan O'Connor era is refreshing. It's like making me feel like I'm kind of back into the groove of Port Charles and General Hospital. So I can relate now to the people a little bit better who come to the show for familiarity. And when that familiarity isn't there, it is a different experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, that doesn't mean go nuts and be angry, hateful monsters of vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
But I can understand your feelings slightly better now.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. I wish we could see more of Tracy and Stella. We get so much Tracy, Chandra. So much Tracy.
We get a lot of Tracy.
Tracy's on all the time. She's out there basically quietly encouraging Sasha to do more with her life than cook at the Quartermains.
Yeah, she is.
I feel like, I wrote this down because I wanted to talk about it. I feel like Tracy might open up a restaurant for her, might fund herself a little 5-star dining experience that may become a competition to the Metro Court.
Mm-hmm. You know what, they could resurrect the chateau from all my children.
I'm moving to Pine Valley. I'm leaving General Hospital. I'm moving to Pine Valley because they're resurrecting that in prime time on Lifetime. Did you hear that, Ma? The Lifetime Christmas movie for all my children?
I did hear that. I heard that they actually, and like, there's a rumor.
It's a, I mean, yeah,
I heard that they had 2 movies written, and the first one was something to do with Christmas. And I'm sure that if Lifetime says, hey, that's a moneymaker, they'll write more.
Yeah, I mean, Lifetime might just do 12 of them for all I know. I thought it was an interesting idea. At first I was like, come on, TV movies. But at first I was thinking like TV movie on ABC on a Saturday night for the wonderful world of Disney. Like, that's stupid. That's dumb. I don't want that. But then I heard that Lifetime and Christmas. And I went, okay, so this actually, to me, sounds a little bit different, a little bit better. One, the network is a lot more appropriate than ABC on a Saturday night.
Yes.
Lifetime is perfect for them to do a soap movie. Secondly, the Christmas theme, of course, I love Christmas. And thirdly, this allows you to not do, the All My Children movie. This could be a Kane family Christmas.
It could.
Where you just bring Anka and you bring in Erica, you bring in Alicia Minshew, Kendall.
Yeah, Kendall.
Kendall, you bring in Kendall, maybe you could wrestle Thorsten K.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't even remember if her son was alive when the show ended. Erica's son.
Josh?
Yeah.
Or was that the actor?
His character was alive when the show ended.
I don't know, but you know what I mean, though. The Kane family Christmas. So you kind of bring the Kane family in. You can bring in maybe a character or two as well that is from All My Children, but you can't at this point. You can't. It's been too long, and 2, you've lost too many people. You can't do All My Children. There's no Adam. There's no Stewart. There's no Palmer. And that's just 3 characters off of 2 actors.
Mm-hmm.
You also have people who are retired and uninterested, too old to come back. You're not getting Brooke. I don't even know if she's still with us.
I don't know either.
But you can get yourself a Tad, you can get yourself an Opal, you can get yourself a core Kane family.
Yeah, and you could have yourself a Martin family too.
And maybe that will be...
Come on,
that
Dixie,
could be,
come on, Crystal.
It could be then a Martin family Valentine's. A Kane family Christmas, a Martin family Valentine. That way you bring in the All My Children characters, you resurrect Pine Valley in that setting, but you're not on the hook of being like, well, here's Petey Cortland, and here's Liza, and here's Marion in the Nut House, and here's this, and here's that, and here's this, and here's that, all this other stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So, Julia Barr, who played Brooke, is still with us. Good. I imagine that, maybe she could be herself in a Leslie Charleston situation, or maybe the desire's there, but the body won't cooperate. I don't know. I'm speaking out of turn.
When the show ended, Brooke and Adam took off together.
So I'm just saying, if you limit the scope into being like a Kane Family Christmas rather than an All My Children Christmas on Lifetime, I think that actually, that could sell. I think that could be very successful.
It could.
Yeah.
It could.
Days of Our Lives got away with a very Salem Christmas.
Sure did.
People loved that.
Yeah, and that's how they tested the water for Peacock to see if going over there full time what might work. Yeah. That's how they tested it.
I'm honestly, I'm for it. It's just interesting though, because I think Lifetime is Peacock. I think that's where they put the Lifetime movies.
Oh.
So I think if they were to do it on Lifetime, that's out of the ABC family.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be interesting to see. That would be very interesting.
It
would Pine Valley. No, Melissa, not a very Pine Valley Christmas. I just explained why a very Pine Valley Christmas doesn't work. To be fair, Susan Lucci is 77 and we fully expect her to be there. I'm not trying to say anything about Julie. I just know what Susan Lucci is up to far more than Julie Barr. So I don't know. I'm just trying to explain why it'd be easier to keep the scope smaller. I'm not trying to be offensive. So I am trying to be fair.
Matthew and I had the privilege to go to Emmys a couple of years ago where Susan Lucci got her Lifetime Achievement Award.
She did.
And that girl looks great still. Come on, Erica, let's go.
I mean, Julia Barr could be absolutely insane. I'm just for the sake of me feeling not like an a-hole, I'm going to look it up. I'm going to see what Julia Barr is up to. Okay, I'm going to see if she's got an Instagram account.
And I want Jesse and Angie back on there too, unless the actor and actress have going to be on, Beyond the Gates. I'll be happy for that even more. So
Beyond the Gates is the name of the show.
Yes, they changed. It's not just the Gates.
It's Beyond the Gates.
Mm-hmm.
And they've also cast their 3 leads. Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
I'm sure the chat can tell me the 3 names far faster than I can look them up. So go ahead and share that information with me. But one of them I remember from Law and Order. She was on Law and Order.
Law and Order.
Yeah, Julia Barr. Still looking that up. Julia Barr. While I'm looking this up, Ma, why don't you talk to me about Cyrus? We got Cyrus, and we also talked to Jeff Coper this week.
We sure did. Well,
75.
Cyrus went to, Cyrus is in there talking with Lulu, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm so sorry for blowing you up, Lulu.
Yeah. Yes, he was so sorry for blowing her up. And Isaiah was totally listening to him, right? Being like,
okay, Uncle Cy.
Uncle Cyrus.
Cool.
Yeah. But boy, Jordan set him straight, didn't she?
Listen, this, that, and this and that. And then Jeff Coper during our interview was like, well, maybe that's a sign of the type of Cyrus you should expect going forward.
I know.
Maybe he's going to decide, I've tried so long, I've tried so hard, and y'all still treat me like scum, so I'll just be scum.
That's what I'm thinking too. I tried doing the right thing, and no one accepts me. I kind of can understand it, because Cyrus has not necessarily been on the screen for us, but we've known that Cyrus has been working at that restaurant for months. He's been back in town for months, mm-hmm. and he's still treated like the hateful ponytail.
Yes.
Yeah, that hasn't changed. He could change his mannerisms. He can change everything, the way he looks. He can change everything about himself, and you still treat me like the hateful, hurtful, awful ponytail.
So,
well, I might as well just embrace it.
So that's just what I'm gonna be. My mom didn't call me. Marty doesn't visit me. Laura's the only person that's ever given me half an inch of rope.
And she only gives him half.
And that ain't enough. And then she's also like, get out.
Yes.
So screw you, Port Charles. I'm gonna go blow up the floating rib again.
And he doesn't even get to spend any time with little Ace at all.
No.
He barely got any recognition for helping Spencer in jail.
He gets run out of visiting Lulu. He gets run out of visiting Isaiah, trying to help.
Poor guy. Trying to help. But I hope Matt, the storytelling that you wrote for Cyrus, I still think is perfect. I think that he should be advice for the bumbling bobbies of the PCPD and get into the minds of the criminally insane and help them.
But that's not what we got. And then you get in the story where he's trying to help Heather, trying to figure out if she's lying, if she's telling the truth, if she's nuts, if she's not, how much of this cobalt was influencing, how much of it is just instability. And then he falls in love with her. See, it all writes itself. It all writes itself. But no, we're not getting that because they didn't hire me. I also didn't apply.
And Jeff actually alluded to that a little bit too, that he had heard that perhaps they were going to pair him with the character that Allie plays, Heather.
Yeah, so go check out that interview, folks. Hear it from his mouth and not ours.
But but he's referring to some time ago. He's not referring to current. That's not what he's heard current. Right. He heard that some months ago.
Yeah. So,
and then it didn't go in that direction, as he stated.
He's in his feels. Cyrus is in his car, Melissa says. Cyrus is in his car, screaming along to Lincoln Park. I've tried so hard and got so far. In the end, it doesn't even matter. Crime.
Well, I have to, speaking of those siblings, Marty and Cyrus and little sister Laura. So we got Marty back this week too.
You mean Martin Gray? Hello, it is me, Martin Gray, lawyer. It is good to see you again, Sonny.
I was disappointed with that.
I shaved my beard and worked hard to drop this accent like Lois.
Yes, but I did hear his twang on just a couple of words, like 2 or 3 words. I did hear, but it looks like, with Michael E. Knight returning, because he's been off for a while. With him returning, I think it's been decided to turn his character a bit.
It's fine. Different
and the beard is gone.
It's fine. I tweeted about it earlier in the week. I said, nobody else in the family's got this accent. Nobody else, this, that, and the other thing. But I'm gonna miss it.
Miss it too.
It was a character choice. It was a character trait. The whole. Here's the thing. What do we love? What do we love about Martin Gray and his relationship with his mama?
Hummingbird cake.
Hummingbird cake, which is southern as southern gets. And now it's just not the same with him going mama and hummingbird cake.
I know. I understand why when Michael E. Knight came to General Hospital, I completely understand why he had the accent, why he had the beard. I think he was trying to
it was a new dude. It was a new character.
He didn't want to be called Tad.
Right. I'm disappointed. There was nothing wrong with it. I get that nobody else had it, but there was also nothing wrong with it. It did separate it from Tad, and it also separated him a little bit too from the rest of the cast. There was something about this character that was a little bit different in presentation. That's part of the reason why I like Cody so much, is because the way he's presented is so unlike the other male characters on the show. And Martin Gray had that for him as well. I found all of that to be far more suave, and the 6 ex-wives and it just made a lot of sense for me.
Yeah, I liked it.
It's a bummer. Hopefully he brings it back. Hopefully the fan reaction is so where he's like, you know what? I'm wearing that gray suit again. It was charming, says Chandra. Well, there you go. Yeah, it was charming. So now that he's back, though, the old arguments of, well, right? Because everybody does. Well, not everybody, but that's what exists out there in the Twitter world. Where they resurfaced an old interview that he did where he's like, oh, thank you very much, Frank Valentini, for bringing me on to play this Martin Gray character, because I was coming up short for my health insurance. And I wanted to get my health insurance. And so Frank Valentini just gave him a little bit part. It wasn't supposed to be Martin Gray, the brother of Laura, to begin with. It was the lawyer of Valentine, or the lawyer of someone who came in to do a couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
And then it worked out. They wrote and they expanded the role and yada yada. But people are like, oh, well, Frank, ATM Frank, blah blah blah. And I'm like, you're whining because this dude gave him 2 days so he can keep his health insurance. I just don't like people sometimes.
Yeah.
It's funny
people,
that
people are mean sometimes.
People are mean sometimes. It's totally true. It's funny that Martin, says Melissa, it's funny that Martin has the accent, but Cyrus doesn't. They should have said Martin trained his voice to sound more gentle. So they could say that this is his original accent.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Cyrus just changed. Cyrus changed his mind. Cyrus changed what he was up to. Trying to be different. Trying to be a kingpin.
Well, General Hospital needs to stop taking away these accents from you, though, Matt.
I know. Are they doing it? Am I now a victim of Frank Valentini? Is that what you're saying? Frank Valentini is doing this specifically to harm me and me alone?
Like we've been saying all these years, he really has been.
Frank Valentini, I know you're watching, and now I'm mad at you. How dare you? I've been your supporter. I've defended you, and now you're taking my accent. No more Lois, unless she's mad. No more Mountain Gray.
And Uncle Victor's dead.
Victor's dead. I got blown up in the Haunted Star. That set's gone now, too.
Yes, it is. I will miss that Haunted Star. I will. I already have. I remember saying on the podcast, man, I'd love to see the Haunted Star. And like 1 week later, they had, I was like, oh my gosh, look at there, it's the Haunted Star.
Now I'm on the Haunted Star. I've stolen it. Off, away we go into the ocean.
That's too bad it's not here, because Lucky could have stayed there.
Kablooey.
Kablooey.
But they never found my body, did they? Oh, maybe they did.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember. But it just comes down to the fact that we need this man back. Can you imagine it, Maxie? You slow dancing along with Spinelli. And then I strike.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they've taken all my impressions away. We don't got Marcus Coloma. We don't got Peter. It's frustrating. So that means you got to watch Days of Our Lives, folks. You got to watch Days of Our Lives and Days for Dummies, because at least I can do myself a little Drake. Duck.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And you can do, yeah. And over there, yeah.
Yeah, I'll get a Sunny now. That's it. And it's terrible. It's one of my worst ones.
Actually, your Cyrus is pretty good, Matt.
I don't know. I feel like I'm making fun of the guy.
I don't.
Yeah, whatever. Who cares? Cyrus got rid of his Louisiana accent.
Yeah.
Is it Louisiana? Is it Kentucky? Is it kind of a mixture of the both?
I think it's supposed to be Kentucky.
It's supposed to be. But, mine comes off a little more Louisiana, because I think that's where most of my my influences come from. Because then I got this one here. This is how my other grandpa sounded. Right?
Yep.
You tell him that. Thank you, Michelle, for being on my side in my new war with Frank Valentini. Michelle's husband does a great John Black impression. Michelle, please share a video. Please do. Please do. All right, Ma, I'm going to do something surprising here, because I promised I would do this, and then I forgot that I promised I was going to do this, and so now I have to do this right now.
Okay, let's find out. Chat, let's find out. What is it?
I came across on Instagram a very interesting and fun account from somebody named Megan.
Okay.
And it's fun because they did some General Hospital doodles and General Hospital art. So I am going to share this screen with you, Mother. You should be able to. Boom. Sorry for the awkwardness for everybody else as I do this very suddenly. Ma, can you see my screen? Can you see the Instagram page?
Yes, now I can. Yes.
All right. So I'm going to do my best to frame this.
I got to put on my readers where I can really see them. Okay.
I'm going to try to frame this as best I can on the fly here.
Oh, look at there.
Oh, this isn't so bad. Okay, so this person, Meg Doodles TWD. So her main thing is The Walking Dead, is what she usually doodles. But she got into some General Hospital
Well, that sure looks like John Cates.
Doodling. Yeah, so we got John Cates here. So that's super fun.
And Anna, right?
Yeah, John Cates and Anna.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get it so the people can see too. Sorry.
Well, Megan Doodle, you're pretty talented. That looks
good. There we go.
That looks great.
All right, so there you go. You can barely see it, but it's on there best I can, folks. Oops. So we got that. Oh, you know what I can do? I can do this on the fly as well. I am so sorry for how unprofessional this is. But I can transition that.
We're not getting paid, Matt.
No, I know. I also can't see the chat while I do this either.
Except for what the chat sends us, which is wonderful. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody, for being so great. Wow, we can. Nice. Kate's and Chrissy. Yeah, okay. So we got, I think this is Kate's and Anna. We got Kate's here. Like the
oh, that's a good. Oh, that's very good.
This is super good. We got Jason, Jack, Kate's, and we got Anna kind of hiding up in the corner.
Very nice.
Let's see here. What else we got? We got Jason. This is the most emotive we've ever seen. Jason Morgan. And then we got, different art styles too, something a little more cutesy, a little more doll like. I think this is supposed to be Jason and Jagger again. We got this is so good. Like, I wonder if Adam Harrington has seen any of this or anything like that. We got more Jack. More Brennan. Yeah, more Brennan. Just a bunch of interpretation of different little scenes and scenarios and all sorts of just awesome little GH art. And that's not it, I mean, she got more here of just more. I mean, look at that. Anna, like, it's so obvious.
Yes.
That this is Anna. Beautiful work, says Melissa. All that. If you're listening on the audio only version, I know this part is super lame. So come visit us on YouTube when you get home. Or when you're done with your workout. Like, that Anna's great. Jack is yapping. Jagger, he's got no time. Like, this, more positive
Kate's is brooding every time, huh?
Yeah. So Meg Doodles TWD. I think that you can see the name of it right here. And that's the Instagram account, Meg Doodles TWD. You can take a look at that. This is the only General Hospital work that I have seen from this particular artist. So I don't know if they have plans on.
Who's the blonde woman supposed to be? Who is the blonde woman?
I think that's supposed to be Carly.
Oh, I think so.
I think this person actually might be a Jarly fan. I think I saw some Jarly love in there. So yeah, I mean, so I don't know if they have any plans on continuing to do any more General Hospital doodling or anything like that. They made a bear, a little Jagger bear. It's just so I love seeing the fandom come through, and you can see some of the other. There's some Dune work in here, some Harry Potter. So if you like the art style and if you like seeing the interpretation of this artist and how they interact with some of their favorite things to see on television, give them a follow. There we go. Chandra just left a link for us all on there.
Awesome. And I'm always just so impressed with, because my gosh, my artistic ability kind of stopped in the second grade. So
yeah, no, I get it. This is way better than a second grade.
I really appreciate this kind of talent,
Yeah.
I mean, and this is the kind of stuff, of course you can hone it, you can improve it, you can, get some education, get some lessons, but this kind of stuff is the kind of stuff you're born with, you can do something or you can't.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. My boy might be cooked. Everyone on the show wants to kill him is the caption for this. So they were enjoying Adam J. Harrington as Jagger.
Yeah.
This one is particularly good.
Yeah.
Here with
Jagger after Sonny shot him, huh?
Yeah. So I wanted to share all that. I reached out to the artist when I saw this on Instagram asking if it was okay for me to do this, and they said, yeah, totally. So, here we go. There we go, folks. Give it a look at doodle.
If you happen to be here, well, we really appreciate your art, and say something. If you happen to be here.
Yeah. I mean, I said that we were going to do this and invited her to come hang out in the chat. She said she'd try, but then I totally forgot about it because I was so excited talking to Sharita Menez earlier. I forgot that I promised I was going to do all that. So, folks, there you go. There's that. There's that. That's cool. My pleasure, says Chandra. Hi, all, beautiful work. Hello, Michelle. I think that's it, though, folks. We've been on all morning. We've been talking all day here in Soap Town, Soapland, Days of Our Lives, General Hospital, the interview with Sherry Jimenez. that happened at 10 a.m. Last week, or like earlier this week, we talked to Jeff Kober. So go check that out.
On Thursday,
and we've
we did.
also been doing a Monsters After show as well. We've been taking it episode by episode. Mom and I have been talking about it. It is tense. It is intense. It is of a subject matter that is very unlike what we talk about here on Soap Operas.
Mm-hmm.
But join us for that anyway. Nicholas Alexander Chavez stars in it. So,
yeah,
there's your connection.
We probably would not have covered this story, this monster story, if it wasn't for, Nicholas being there.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have. I mean, I didn't even see Dahmer as much as great praise it did as it got. I didn't even see it. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty unfamiliar with the details of the Menendez case to begin with, and so this is kind of a new exploratory mission for me because I was far too young to understand it all back then, or even know that it was happening. Like I've always been.
Yeah, Matthew, at the time when this happened, Matthew was 3 years old.
Yeah.
And in that sentencing and stuff like that, even by the time it was all wrapped up, you were still under 10.
Yeah.
You don't talk to your 10-year-old or lesser age about people murdering their parents. You just kind of try to keep that out of your mouth.
Yeah, so we get to talk about it now, though, folks. So enjoy that conversation. We've gotten through the first 6 episodes. We're going to be finishing that off tomorrow night, starting at 7 p.m. Pacific time. So join us as we talk about the last 3. And then later on in this week, we'll do a full season retrospective on our thoughts about it as a whole, rather than bit by bit.
Yes, we will.
So, Chandra says she's almost done with episode 2 of Monsters, and it is intense. Chandra, keep going, because it does not get any less intense from here. You just get used to it, and it becomes a little bit easier to watch.
Episode 2 is like shocking, though. It's a little shocking. A little bit of the content is shocking.
Yeah, for sure. So, you know what you're getting with the Ryan Murphy show, though. So if you're unfamiliar, just expect the worst. And if you don't, and that way, if it doesn't achieve the worst of what you're expecting, then it will be a better experience than you were hoping for.
Not worst in quality, but worst in grim storyline.
Oh yes. Well, in closing, as everybody loads back onto the elevator, as we finish off today, LaShun says, Lucky and Elizabeth still have that chemistry, and we agree with you here on the 10th floor.
Absolutely. The only I have a tiny bit of criticism for the Lucky scenes.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that when Sidwell and Holly left him alone at the compound, and the guys at the compound decided to beat the crud out of him while they're gone. Mm-hmm. I thought it was a little oversold of how injured he was.
Yeah.
I just thought
it happens, I guess.
Yeah, I was like,
how Jordan took down that person that was trying to assassinate Isaiah. Didn't we talk about that last week?
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it?
Didn't we? I think we talked about that last week. We talked about how wonderful Jordan was last week. And I'm sure we'll talk about how wonderful she is next week. And I'll say at the end of this podcast that I think Jordan is wonderful. We actually we had a great conversation with Tanisha Harper here on the podcast not too long ago. So, Rochelle, if you haven't seen that, go check it out.
We did talk.
Yeah, we wanted to talk about Jordan and Dr. Gannon. I don't really have much to say about that at this very moment in time. I look forward to the future.
Yeah. And I love the idea that they're giving Jordan, looks like they're giving her a love interest, That
isn't Brick.
Absolutely. And they have great chemistry, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think they do.
No, I think that I would imagine Jordan was the screen test.
I would think so.
We're getting we talked about Isaiah Gannon and Jordan a little bit last week. We talked about how she saved his life. And this week, we got a little info exchange. We got a little flirtsy here with old injured Doc Gannon in the bed.
Yeah.
We're on the Jorzea. Are we going to coin that now? The Jorzea train?
I think so. I mean, you can't really.
Because Eisden is not as good.
No, that sounds weird.
Yeah. So
it sounds like ISIS, like some kind of criminal group.
So Jorzea, we're here. Hashtag Jorzea. We are here for it. I'm looking forward to see where it goes from here. Great little start. But when it comes down to it, Tanisha Harper is always just flown off the screen romantically with the people that they've teased her with, and this is no different.
Oh, and I saw that either yesterday or today is Tanisha's 39th birthday. Happy birthday, Tanisha!
Oh, happy birthday, Tanisha Harper!
Yes.
Hopefully you're watching and listening. Sorry, I thought all the episodes are rolling, washing together. You know, it's okay, Rochelle. Same thing happens to us. Like, this show's on 5 days a week after week. Every once in a while, it all kind of melds and meshes together. But we did still have Jordan and Isaiah this week. She ran Cyrus off and then had a little chit-chat-a-rooney with Jordan.
I told him everything that Cyrus has done, oh no. He's coming here to help save your soul, but let me tell you what he did.
But let me tell you why his soul is not saved. So
exactly.
So that's it, folks. Climb back on into the elevator. We're going to go back down to the first floor. We're going to go into the parking garage, into our cars, tune our radios to previous episodes of the 10th Floor, which you can find on all of your favorite podcasting platforms. If you can't find it on your favorite podcasting platform, or you feel like you just want to interact with us, you could follow us on Twitter at 10th Floor GH. Ask me a couple of questions. Say, hey, where can I find your podcast? I'll send you in the right direction. Absolutely no problem.
Sure will.
Like the video if you haven't. Subscribe to the channel if you're brand new. We'd love to have you. Come back later, leave a comment, help the algorithm. Leave some reactions in the corner right now, if you feel so.
The more you do that, the easier we are to find.
Oh, yes. So the more inclined you feel, go ahead and do that. Beyond that, click around the channel as well. See all the other stuff we've been up to. Days of Our Lives, Monsters, and beyond. A couple of different celebrity interviews, red carpet stuff. All sorts of different fun things to find on the 10th Floor Podcast channel. So look around, share it with everybody. And that's it. I've been Matt.
I've been Kat.
Go spend some time with your families. And we'll see you next time right here on the 10th Floor. Goodbye.